Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Step On Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to another Monday Mini in which I have answers, I have questions, I have thoughts, thanks to TikTok, Sam's Internet Corners, which I've been calling it. I know it's been a minute since I've updated you on my gaming experience. Yeah, I said it. And this time I come with questions.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah. So first of all, let me tell you the newest game that I've been obsessed with and I'm loving right now, which is Delicious World. And it's one of those cooking simulator games where you have to do these things and you travel the world. But this one is so different. This one's storyline, which I've told you about Lily's Garden a little bit, and I've kind of faded from that one because it gets... I sometimes spend money, and I don't want to. And these are supposed to be free games. So I'm like, oh, no. If I'm trying to spend money, then I'm too addicted. So I backed off on that one and played this one. But this one is really interesting. So it's been around for a while. The newest rendition came out in 2019. And apparently there's a whole level of variations. Like the characters have been around, but they all look different. They have different worlds. They have children. They've gotten married. I have not made it that far.
Okay.
I have not made it that far. What the beginning of this story is, Emily is a cute little cook who went to school in Paris, met someone. His name is Jean-Paul from Paris. And they were together, and then she moved back to the U.S. before they could finalize their love, all these things. Turns out he had sent her a letter that it got lost, and he was declaring his love for her. And this has been years. And so she gets this letter. Her mom, Evelyn, brings her to the cafe. They have a conversation, and she gets the letter, gives it to her cousin Frank, who is the gay best friend as well, is a part of this. And I didn't know he was gay for a while, though. But, like, that's how you get introduced. She gets this letter, so she realizes that she wants to go and see him. However, it turns out that he is going to be a part of this big cooking contest. And so she decides to enter to talk to him because she didn't know how to get to him outside of that. With this, she gets lost, she gets diverted, she gets on the wrong plane or something and goes to Italy and loses her phone, loses her wallet. So she has to work her way over to Paris. Yes, Annie.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
At the beginning of all of this, by the way, we meet Patrick, a florist that becomes someone she can't stand to to the Am I right? Am I right? And so we travel with Emily through these different scenarios where she's having to cook. She cooks on a train even. She cooks at a Swiss candy place. Like, she does all these things. And she finally gets to the contest, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but things happen. She finally gets together with the John Paul, but of course, you know, the ifs, the who's, and the what's going to get together. She meets friends along the way. Frank comes in and joins her because, you know, he's like supporting his girl, essentially. But the thing about this, as much as I really love this, the storyline has really got me. Like, I'm like, the animation's super cute. The storyline has got me. And I'm like, what the hell? And immediately, Frank has a relationship with another chef, and they actually kiss in the animation. I have never seen, as in fact, even the same-sex characters don't often imply that they're married, well, like the earlier ones. The Lily's Game, I told you, I think it's implied that her best friend and the woman are together, but they don't ever really say that.
Right.
But then in this game, there's a full-blown relationship. They also have a falling out, and then they maybe come back together. All of these things. You have side quests for the holidays. So there was one for Korean Lunar New Year, so it was super cute. And I was like, oh, look at that. They had one for Christmas, and they have one now for Valentine's Day. So you have little side quests, and they kind of jump ahead in the story, because I was like, wait, But all that to say, this has been one of the more fun games that I've really, really enjoyed as it becomes, like I said, the story, and it unfolds, and there's definitely different variations. Apparently, it was called Delicious Emily's World. I don't like that as much. And they have different variations of that, and the animation is the same character with a different look. There's another one that I started playing because it was like a delicious Airbnb type of thing, travel, and it's the same characters, but it's by different people. So I'm not sure how that came about, if someone can explain this game to me. But I really, really love it. Mm-hmm. It's really like, you just try to make these dishes, which half the time I don't know what it is. I'm like, what is this? Ooh. And you try to do it in times, and there's peoples, and get stars, and gets monies. And she's just traveling. And right now, I'm at the point that she's at London serving up fish and chips. Apparently, she has daughters and kids, though. Like, this whole character design shows all of the characters.
Wow.
It goes that deep.
It's pretty deep. Also, we should say, not currently a sponsor, but
no.
Wow.
Give me things. Let me be a VIP, so I don't have to pay money for it.
Yeah. Also, I have read this fan fiction.
Really?
This is a popular fan fiction trope. Yeah.
Oh, the trope. Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously, there's very trope stuff, but I'm like, but it's so cute with the design. So right now, she has decided she's not in love with John Paul, but the person she's in love with, as you can already guess, is with someone else, one of her friends, actually. Ruh-roh! So that's where I am with that story. So if anybody else knows about the story, let me know. I do also want to give an update to Wayhaven Chronicles, because you and I really got into the first one. I think I really got into the first two. But it's supposed to be released April 6th.
The third one?
Yes.
Oh.
And I told you that I already read a snippet of it. I'm very excited.
Maybe we'll do an update.
I think we have to do an update. Well, also, our the listener who wrote in, she needs to send us an update if she does it too.
Amanda. Mm-hmm.
Amanda. So let us know.
Mm-hmm.
But now, okay, this is the point that I'm really getting to. Because I've discovered that this may be who I am. Cozy gaming. Do you know what cozy gaming is?
So I was telling you before this, I've never heard this term. I bet if once you tell me what it means, I probably know what it is. But I've never heard this term before, no.
Okay.
Again, this is a fan fiction term. Curtain fic. I think it's the same thing.
Curtain fic. Okay.
Which means like two characters go to buy curtains together. It just means like kind of domestic, simple
yeah, you told
things.
me this. You told me this. That's correct. That's correct. Well, so there's different variations, and this is a newer term, and I've seen it all over TikTok, and to the point that it gives me recommendations of like, you should play this game if you like this, and I'll tell you why it's cozy. It still feels complicated when I see the games that they're talking about, and I believe, don't get me, someone correct me if I'm wrong, Animal Crossing is considered a cozy game.
That would make sense to me.
Okay. Yeah. So it says in one article, cozy games are generally regarded as featuring cute characters, often anthropomorphic animals or childlike humans who engage in player activities such as farming, gathering, growing, and nurturing with a vague goal of creative personalization and in-game socialization. And it goes on to say, but coziness is broader than farming and village planning. The essential nature of cozy gaming is that of helping other people through non-violent means, often by nurture and generosity, and that self-expression is core to the game's progression goals, which tend to be open-ended. So another of the gamers who talk about it says, most developers agree that cozy games are best defined by how they make you feel rather than via mechanics or looks. Cozy certainly is, and cozy is always a good feeling, evoking cuddles on the couch with pets, children, and significant others. I did read one of them saying that they like to play cozy games in the bath before going to bed. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I tried one and it still frustrated me. Okay. Because I couldn't, I'm like, I don't understand these buttons. So, of course, I believe the Switch has been the most popular form to play cozy games. And as in fact, it says that this may be one of the reasons why women are playing the Switch more. In one statistics, it says in the U.S. from early 2020 to late 2020, the percentage of women playing on either Switch or Switch Lite jumped from 6.5% to 13.2, whereas among the men, the increase was less, 14.6 to 15.9%. So it was a pretty significant jump. It more than doubled the amount of women playing on these games. And again, I know that Animal Crossing was the huge thing, and I still have yet to play that. I still don't quite understand that. And that's one of the reasons that the Switch actually sold out, correct?
Yes. Especially during the pandemic. I would also say, like, I'd be interested because I always think of the Switch as the party system, right? Like,
yes,
you play with other people, which I think, during early pandemic, a lot of us were trying to do. And Animal Crossing, we talked about that, I think, pretty early in the pandemic. We talked about that kind of as a way to have a connection that wasn't like, I'm going to kill you in this game. It was much more like, hey, look at this room I designed, and here's my garden, and like you can go visit each other's islands. Like a much like kind of softer, like more soothing interaction where you can just sort of visit people in this virtual space if you want to, and you don't have to if you don't want to. But yeah, it was definitely like it came out right when the pandemic really was hitting, was Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you did. And that might be why also, because during the pandemic, we wanted to be cozy. Another, the blogger who talked about the Switch specifically talked about the fact that to them, the term cozy gaming is used to describe a feeling of comfort or care. And as in fact, in 2017, Project Horseshoe, which is an annual game designer think tank, which I know nothing about, talked about the coziness in game, and they explored how cozy gaming can reach larger audiences and how ultimately coziness can be treated as, quote, a positive philosophy for driving meaningful change in the world. And according to them, it's about safety, abundance, and softness, like you said. And yeah, it's about being more emotionally involved, apparently, going beyond the whole Sims idea, which I know nothing about either. But I know people love Sims, love it. So the history of this is that they think it goes all the way back to maybe even 1985 with little computer people, which I have no idea what that is. You don't know either. I need people to tell me. Another statistic was that they talked about it being in 1996 as Harvest Moon, the game Harvest Moon on, what's SNES?
Super Nintendo.
Oh. So SNES is Super Nintendo. This is how little I know about the gaming world. And then apparently Animal Crossing was actually released on GameCube in 2001. Yeah. So I guess they were re-released for Switch.
It's kind of like a series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are all about personal relationship building. So I'm very fascinated by this idea, and I really want to like it because I want to be cozy, damn it. Someone teach me how to be cozy. Another article that I read about it actually talks about how they don't think the name cozy gaming will stick because it will just become gaming, and hopefully they'll see it and treat it as such. Because we've talked about this before, what constitutes a gamer and what is gaming. And I know a lot of people like on Twitch that do these cozy games, as in fact, several TikTokers have thousands, if not millions of followers, couples who specifically work and they highlight cozy games. Like that's it. And they have a lot of content and people love their content. Again, I know nothing about this. So I'm very fascinated by this idea. I need people to recommend things because I do have a Switch. Okay. I do have a PC. And I have a phone. Okay. Shut up, Anney. I have to admit, I don't have a fancy PS4 and 5 and 6. Don't start with me.
Yeah, I got the 6, everybody. I'm like way ahead. No, I just wasn't expecting a PC.
Well, then you play games on that, right? Come on.
No, absolutely. I just wasn't expecting it. That's all.
And I have a fancy PC now. I have a gaming PC because it was on super sale at a Costco. Not a sponsor. But yeah, so I want to try these. I really do because, as you know, I obviously love good stories, and that's what draws me in. And I love cute things. And I don't want animals to die. So definitely not playing Last of Us, Anney, especially watching you. She kills all the animals, y'all.
I don't. All right. Well, sideburn for me, sure. Now you've got everyone who's listening to our mini-series nervous. Don't worry about it. That's the second one. You're going to be fine.
Oh, you're welcome. But yeah, so I really feel like this could be an interesting take. I would love to try some. You need to try some, obviously, because you this is newer to you. Not so you knew what it was. I think a lot of people knew what it was before it was coined, cozy gaming. But for me, that title makes me more interested.
Well, I'm interested in it. As you know, I love studying gaming. And I know I've said before, it's a fascinating look into my brain because games like Animal Crossing make me nervous. And I think for a lot of people, it's sort of what you say a lot is like babysit your brain. But for me, it's like the mail.
Yes.
But there is that kind of like, especially on your phone, where you can like just turn on something that you don't really have to invest too much in. Like you can, but it's not like, oh God, what's going to happen next? It's sort of just like, oh, this is nice. Oh, I like this story. And then you can turn it off once whatever you're waiting for is done. Like, so I definitely think there's something to it. And especially when like right now where, Samantha and I are still pretty much quarantining, but we've been in a pandemic. So for a long time, I feel like it has been, how can I distract my brain in a way that's not going to make me panic?
Right.
Here's this.
Yeah. And yeah, so for all of our listeners, because I know Anney has accrued a pretty great group of people who love games and gaming and all these things. So recommendations, I need them.
Yes.
And again, pretend like I know nothing and then go from there. Because I probably don't know anything about it.
Yes. And you all have sent in a whole host of amazing gaming recommendations. And some of them I would say qualify as this, as cozy gaming. Okay. So I'll make sure that you got those, Samantha. Okay. But yeah, keep those recommendations coming. We love them. You can email us at stephanieandmomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter @momstuffpodcast or on Instagram and TikTok @StuffMomNeverToldYou. Thanks as always to our super producer, Christina.
She looks like a cozy gamer.
I could see it. I could see it. Yes. And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.